Welcome back to NewsWire here on SportsGrid. We got Bill Bender. Always fun to bring in Bill as we are ready for some college football. We have one game tonight in college football, really big game tomorrow night, and then we'll preview the slate coming up this weekend. So, Bill, welcome back here to the show. We've already seen some shakeup here in the top 25, without a doubt. Top 5, top 10 already not looking like it did at the beginning of the season, and I think some things will get sorted out tomorrow night as well. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no question. That Kansas State-Arizona game is going to be a lot of fun. I've had a lot of hard time reading this line because part of me believes, yes, Arizona is going to throw the ball around with Tetairoa McMillan. For anybody who hasn't seen him play, had 300 receiving yards a couple weeks ago. But I feel this way, a little bit of an unfamiliarity factor. They haven't been to Manhattan. Kansas State stops the run well, runs the ball well. 6-2 against the spread at home last season. And I know Arizona was a super dog, but I feel like the Wildcats are going to do one of those moves where they're up by 6 or 7 and they get the late cover and make the bettors happy. I like I can't say Wildcats. Both teams are named Wildcats. I'm going to go with K-State here.
Yeah, under Snyder, K-State getting points through the years was just absolutely fantastic, So, I mean, they are getting 7.5 here. Generally speaking, Arizona not ranked a lot in the top 25. And I would love the game if K-State wasn't ranked at all. But the fact that usually the team that's not ranked at home taking on a ranked opponent on the road is like money in the bank against the spread. But that's not the case here. By the way, total seems a little higher, 58.5. As you mentioned, McMillan's been fantastic. 10 catches, 304 yards, and 4 touchdowns in the first game. Not as many catches second game, 2 for 11 and 2 touchdowns. And by the way, I checked this over on FanDuel. Not listed among the Heisman Trophy Award candidates. So, certainly we'll keep an eye on it. But he has odds, by the way. I want to show you this, Bill. I'm surprised. He has prop odds on FanDuel. 80-plus yards is minus 182. 90-plus yards, minus 128. 100 and above, plus 108. I got to tell you, I did not watch the last game that they played very closely. So I'm not really sure if he had targets or, look, 300 is ridiculous. But right. Honestly, for a player like this, under 20 is ridiculous too. So if it's somewhere in the middle, then you're going to make 4 to 1 on your money, plus 150. What do you think?
Well, he had 6 targets in the last game, a little trouble connecting. They didn't look really good against Northern Arizona. But for them to win this game, he has to have over 100 yards. He has to make a couple big plays in the passing game. I like that prop there. Yeah, I would go 100 yards because that would make this a shootout. You mentioned the over. I think it sneaks just under that. One trend to watch in this game on the other side, Avery Johnson, this guy that was a Heisman sleeper, hasn't had huge games because, again, their run the ball, stop the run, hasn't taken a sack. Kansas State, he's one of 4 Power 4 quarterbacks who hasn't taken a sack, and we're going to talk about another one here in a second. But if Arizona can't get pressure on him and Kansas State gets what they want on offense, they're going to win this football game.
All right, fair enough. All right, now let's get to the best defense in college football right now. It is Mizzou. Missouri ranks 6th in the country, playing as well as they have had ever. Bill, is it fair to say? I don't ever remember them being ranked 6th, but here they are taking on a Boston College team that is ranked simply because they beat FSU. I'm not sure how good FSU is anymore, honestly, but Missouri 16.5 point favorites. The total is the fascinating part of this, only 53.5. So this seems to lend some credence here that Missouri is able to shut BC down on defense, but I would anticipate BC scoring points, right? Like BC hasn't, or Missouri hasn't given up any points yet.
Well, this is one I don't understand the line at all. I think it's going to be a close game. I like Boston College's ability to run the football, 282.5 yards per game. Thomas Castellano is kind of a dual threat quarterback. You and I both watched them go down to Florida State a couple weeks ago and just handle business in a tough place to play. I know Missouri's defense is tough. I think Luther Burden's been quiet for them. He'll maybe have a breakout game, but I look for this to maybe be the most entertaining game among the ranked teams this weekend because of BC. You mentioned that red bandana factor. I would encourage everybody to go watch the Wells Crowther story. It was amazing by ESPN. That's next weekend, but I think there'll be some inspiration from that given the September 11th anniversary. I like Boston College to cover. Missouri wins the game. It's close, maybe like a 30-27 type game.
All right, so that's an over there too, perhaps, from Bill. Now, this is where I mentioned earlier in the show, if you're betting trends in college football, generally this is the best one. and again, there's no easy bets. There's no guaranteed winning. I know you hear that from everybody. This is not one of those. But I'm just saying that a team playing at home unranked against a team that is ranked, getting points, covers more than they don't. And that may only be 51 or 52%, but that's what it is. They cover more than they don't. So South Carolina takes on LSU this week. We know the Gamecocks are not great, but that's what the scenario has painted. LSU 6.5-point favorites. This is down from 7 when the line initially came out. Total of 50.5. Can South Carolina keep it close?
So you're saying you think South Carolina covers, right? Is that, I want to get this part right?
Yes.
And more often than not, right?
Yeah, more often than not, team getting points at home against ranked opponent when you're unranked has been a recipe for success, but not 80% or 90% or anything like that nonsensical here.
I like it. I like the Gamecocks. You know that Williams-Brice, when it's on and rocking, it's a tough place to play. Dylan Stewart's got to get after Garrett Nussmeier a little bit. This freshman edge rusher for South Carolina is absolutely fantastic. Garrett Nussmeier is the other quarterback that hasn't taken a sack, hasn't been uncomfortable, hasn't been in that environment, even though they've won a game. But I'm with you on this one. I think it's a close game. With the game day environment, it's a bit of an emotional pick that goes against the trends a little bit. But I got LSU winning 28-24. The Gamecocks hang in this game. These two don't play enough. They haven't played since 2012. So I think South Carolina hangs around in this game. Really impressed with what they did against Kentucky last week.
Yeah, East versus West in the SEC, always a fun matchup. Hopefully that hurricane steers clear, and prayers to everybody going through that in Louisiana right now as it moves toward the east. All right, Bill, we'll keep an eye on the weekend, and you'll certainly check back with you next week for a huge slate of games, by the way, in college football. Next week's a great slate. Thanks again for coming on.
Hey, thank you.